G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Pierre and this is Simple Homebrew. As you know, I've got a shed that I've been building and working on for the last 4 years and learning how to brew at the same time. I learned a lot of skills doing this shed, and thanks to some people out there who gave me some good ideas, it's been carrying on and working quite well, and it's a great little domain where I like to be. Today, what I'm doing is actually going to give you guys an opportunity to share your brew shed or your brewing area. No matter how big or how small your brew area is, it will be interesting to see, and we all would love to see your area. If you're watching this and you're interested in filming your area and commentating and talking about it, send me an email to pierressimplebrewing@gmail.com.au. I will talk to you about getting the link to your video and sharing it on my channel if you're interested. I've got 2 on board. They should be ready next year. January, I'm hoping to get 1 up at least. This is just before New Year's now, and I'm hoping to get at least 1 video from out there to get it up. I want to do 1 every month and hopefully share viewers' brew areas. Look, you don't even have to talk. You can just film it, tell me what it's all about, and I'll do the commentating on it if you like. It's just for fun. It's to show brewers out there what can be done and what you can work with. You can have a little apartment, 1 brewer, 1 pot, bang, that's your brew shed. So yeah, share what you've got so we know that we can brew no matter what area we're in life. All right guys, I'm going to give you my tour today, and hopefully you'll see what I brew with and what I set up and what I have, and you guys can compare, I suppose, or get some ideas from it if you can. All right, I'll get stuck into it. So what I have here is my brew shed. My brew shed I built 4 years ago. It's a cedar shed. A friend of my wife's actually suggested doing this, and I reckon it was the best suggestion she ever had. So basically, I've decked it out on the inside, but at the outside I've just varnished it. Sorry, I've used decking oil on the outside to keep it looked after, to keep it safe from rain and weather, and it's been bucketing down here a lot lately, and it's been quite annoying. So to introduce you to it, I would like to come into the entrance. Now, in order for me to film properly, I needed to change the shutter speed because I have LED lights. These are LED lights from Bunnings Warehouse. They cost me about $40 a set, which is really cheap, and they do the job well. But they do interfere with your filming if you like filming. You need to change your shutter speed to suit. So what I'll start with is I bought, when I first came into the shed, it was empty. It had just no walls, no lining in it, and it was stinking hot on a hot day. Like today is about 25 degrees Celsius, and it's beautiful in here. It was just a tin roof. When it was 25 degrees Celsius when I first built this place, it was roasting in here, roasting my head. It was terrible. I have the first fridge, which is a Distilling. I got this from Aldi. It's just a full upright fridge, perfect for doing my fermentation in, and perfect for brewing. It's just ideal. Works out really well. It's had a few dents and bangs around already. It's been around for about 4 years now, so it's really good. On top, I just leave all my cleaning equipment. That's just some whiskey I'll be making. All my cleaning products, my grain grinder, my grain mill, and sometimes I'll just leave a drill or something like that there. A little board to actually talk about or write down what I'm doing, and I have used it a bit, but not overly a lot. So the fridge runs off this temperature controller. It's a wrapped temperature controller kindly given to me by Michael Eade. Thank you very much, mate. He just gave it to me as a gift to say thank you for all the videos I've done for the community, and it's just awesome. Now, we have people come to our front door, and the only way I know they're there is when they ring the doorbell. But I've noticed hardly any of them ring the doorbell. They will just walk up to the door, take a photo if they're dropping off a parcel, and walk off. They don't even knock on the door. It's terrible. So this section here is my distilling side. This is where I do all my distillation stuff, except for this, of course. This is my pot for a lot of things. I use this for sparging, heating, and using hot water for other things. And I can use this, family gatherings and make coffee with it and all that stuff. if I want to. That's my filter for my my whiskies, my spirits. If I do it, I haven't filtered much of it lately. I've just haven't been really experimenting much with whiskies. So that's my little right corner. Up here are all the brews that I've been tasting for calendar for this year. They're up there for my filming. And I also have these little bits, just little things like knickknacks on the walls, just to show that I do enjoy having an environment that's comfortable, and I just put posters and pictures up. My filometer, I popped the filometer in about 2 years after I started doing this for convenience, and I hooked that up to a drinkable water hose, and that runs down in my backyard all the way to the front tap underground and feeds this system. It will burst one day, it hasn't been done properly. And on this corner here, I've got a esky. Some people call it chili bin in New Zealand. If I'm doing distilling, I'll fill that up with water and I'll use that as the cooling water for the distillation, so I don't waste tap water all day long. This will last mostly a full distill. And I also set my sanitizer on it and everything else when I'm going. As you can see, I've got my hose and all that set up. This will drain out through a pipe, which I just put in probably about a year ago. I will be upgrading that to a proper drain eventually and go from there. Nice big blowy. If you've been watching my videos, I did a repair on this. I've actually done an upgrade and repaired some seals and everything else in my grain farmer. So this is where the grain farmer sits. I have it raised so I can actually clean underneath it and don't have to lift things, and I have it raised so it's easier to lift the basket out when I'm doing my brewing. This is my hanger for my cables and my power cables for the grain father and other things, but I use that for the power. I run this power point, it's up off the ground, and I actually put it above the water line of the grain father so that if there is spillage, it doesn't run down the cable and short this out. So it's up off the ground that high for that reason. Everything up here are all things I use for stirring, adding, additions, cutting, everything I need for measuring, all on this right hand side. And then these are my kind of, not chemicals, but salts and things for my grains and all grain brewing, and cloths and rags just to clean and everything else. I do like knickknacks, I like little things in my shed, so I'll leave it basically like this. And I'll adjust and move it every now and again. I've got my bar open. My wife got me that one from Bairnsdale. It's just like a Chinese made I love beer thing, which is fun. I use this kettle to boil my water for brewing with. It's just convenient to have that. I just fill that with my filometer and hose, and it works a treat. And I do ride my bike in here. I don't know if you guys know, but over in the corner here, I've got what I used to ride on the road, but I'm too scared to ride on the road. I'll do it inside now, indoors. So it keeps my fitness up and keeps me trim. I haven't done it for ages. I keep putting it off, but I will be. That's all set up for that. I can actually watch and watch the ride in my TV that's in front of me, which I can use Google to stream it. At the moment, this is my workbench, and this workbench is made from an old bed. I actually have made a video on how I made it. That's at the start of this channel. This bench I built from the slats. There's a couple of slats there, and then I put a little bit of a wooden top on top of it and just bolted it all together and just cut it to make it fit. So under here I store most of my least used products. There's grains under there. All this is grains and bottles, and over the left there is my wine storage. So that's all that's all storage that I don't use a lot of. And when I first did this, when I first started brewing in here, probably about 6 months after I did it, I started getting mice. So I had to get rat sack and mice traps and stuff and get rid of them. They're only here for a short time. I don't know where they came, probably because more that it's something new here, and they started eating stuff and getting into everything. So mice are mice, you know. But they're not around anymore. I don't have any mice anymore, so that was a bit of a pain in the butt. So I just have room for my glass carboy, which a lot of people say don't use glass because they break and shatter just suddenly. Look, if I'm careful, I'll probably never have an issue with that. And this is my, it's like in the winter time, it gets cold enough in here that I can use a heat pad and put the jacket on this and do a proper temperature controlled fermentation, and it really works well. I do that with this because it's easier than putting it into a fridge. I don't need to do that. I mean, if I need to ferment something at 20 degrees, well, that's going to be a problem. I'll have to do it in the fridge with a heater. The fan is for when it gets too hot in here. I will turn that on later on today. I think it's getting pretty warm already. And these are all my hoses and pipes and everything I use. Some of them have to be thrown away. Some of them are pretty old now. They're getting a bit worn out. These are all here. These containers contain all my bits and pieces for fermenting, temperature control. You know, you got your spundy and you got all your little bits and pieces that you need to ferment and make beer. And I just grab what I need as I go. And it's got a lot of products that I need to use to maintain my kegs and stuff like that. I've got this little beauty, which is not a beauty. Never worked properly. Spent $100 and odd on this, thinking it would be great fun to have something to watch while I'm not around. I get it to work for 10 minutes and it just cuts out and stops working. I've only ever had it working once, full term of a distillation, fermentation. They are bad. Plateau, it's a Plateau bubbler, and I've never had that work properly. So going through what I've got, I will be putting some more little posters and pictures here eventually, and cleaning up here and make some hangers up here. I'm going to put glasses or cups here and things like that. Maybe under one of these anyway, I'm not sure where. I have a metal plate. I got this from work and just decided, okay, we've got magnetic products. I'll use those and I'll just use this as a magnet or as a plate for magnets, and that helps. This is my knick-knack area. This is an area where no beer-related products are going to be, well, I shouldn't say that. No hobby products are going to go on. I'm going to use this shelf as basically just for my bits and pieces that I don't use a lot of and I like. As some of you might be aware, I do enjoy listening to the Beatles. That's why I've got that up there. It's like a commemorative thing. Just my son bought that for me, and it was one of the good things because it looks like a lid of a bottle, a beer bottle. This thing, which is clocks, they actually work. It's like a train clock. I really like it. Now I sold a house a while back and moved into this house, and I brought this with me. Nobody wanted it in the house, but I thought it looked great in here. So that's been in here since I first started brewing and first started building this shed. And I'm happy to keep it there. It's just a good little knick-knack. My last name is Verhulsdonk, if you can see that. And this is where the Verhulsdonk name came from. It's, you know, they're talking about 977 after death, so AD. So it's an old ancient name. So I don't know if it's how true this is, but it's fun for me to look at. I keep my grains up here in the canisters, and down underneath I have my kegs for kegging all my beer. And I've got, 1, 2, 3 empty ones now and a half one. That one got given to me by Keg King. They said, just do a little bit of a video if you like, or just take it and see what you think. So I did. I am mainly going to use that to clean my kegerator out, which is inside the house. I do have a reflux still that I bought from Valley Hydroponics and Homebrew, and it works really well. It's a really good little unit. We are going to work together in the future. It's to do some videos on this. I'm just trying to wait till Christmas is over and we'll do some stuff after that, and I'll get in contact with him and we'll talk. Over here we have the pot still I bought from what was Firkin Cellars at the time. They're gone now, they closed. Unfortunately, they were a good bunch of people. So I've got all my fermenters. These are all just ready to go. These are still good fermenters, all pressure fermenters except for the bucket fermenter. I also have an Apollo Titan, which I need to passivate, which is something's going to happen soon. So I don't know if you guys realise this, in my shed I mostly do my filming, and when I film here, because this is YouTube of course, I like to have everything ready. So basically I will come in here, have a camera already set up, and I can talk to you guys hopefully with proper, hopefully, microphones that you can hear me clearly. It's not always easy, and try and get the best video I can out of my amateurism, because I am amateur and do this all on my own. So what I have is this ring, which only just got given to me recently. For basically what happened is, I think my sister-in-law used it for a makeup ring when she put makeup on, and the power supply failed. So she said, if you can get it working, you can have it. And I said, all right, I'll have a look at it, and I got it working. It works a beaut. It's still something I've got to learn how to use properly. I have my main camera, what I use with a microphone over the top, so when I'm close to the camera doing tastings, I just use this microphone. And right now we're using a Rode Wireless Go 2 that's plugged into the camera directly. So that's something to do. I do have a fire extinguisher. Thank you to Finroo, who said you need a fire extinguisher, and I went, yeah, you're right, so I put that in. So lighting in here, well, when I come in, I turn this light on. This is the main room light. They're the overhead lights, so I don't always need them. So I can turn them off and still able to see pretty good. The room light, of course, is the other one, and it shows up, when I turn these off, it shows up the lights I have in the background of the TV and the what time is it, it's beer o'clock kind of thing. That's my brew shed in a pinch. This is how I do my brewing, and I love doing it. It's great fun. It's a really good hobby. I'll just turn this back on. Yeah, just a big heads up, if you guys aren't aware, I love brewing. I love doing craft brewing, and I love doing beers and different types of beers. I love tasting them. I don't really like getting drunk. And on saying that, be careful. If you're brewing 21 litre or 23 litre batches, that's got to go somewhere. And if you want to drink it, that's a lot of beer to drink and all that go. And if you want to do that, that's up to you. But I recycle my beers. Most of my beers go into the distiller and becomes an alcohol of some type. And I'll process it until it tastes nice. And a lot of time it doesn't. So I'll use that as a cleaner or anything like that, which I have. I've got a jar here somewhere. Yeah. So a lot of the alcohol I take out, I use as cleaner. I make it as a cleaner just to get, just so I don't waste it. I don't know if I can pour it into my car and burn it as ethanol in the car, but I don't think it's good for the car. But I hope you like that tour. I think this will be a good opportunity for you guys to spread out what you have as a brewer. Your shed would inspire others, and hopefully inspire some of you guys or anybody out there to start filming your own brew sheds and your own brews. You can do this just by using a mobile phone. Audio is very important. You don't need anything expensive. I've got this Ulanzi microphone system. That cost me $40, and it's remote. And it's cheap to run. You can plug it into your phone, being it an Apple or Android. And you will get some great videos. And hopefully, if you're fluent enough and good enough, you'll get some really good hits on your channel. You might even make some money. So guys, if you want to share your videos on my channel, give me an email. Let me know what you want to do, and we'll work together and we'll get it done as quickly as possible. I would like to share some of your stuff. Great guys, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers for watching.